Good morning, everyone. I was just sitting here eating my brekkie, as you can see, halfway through. That's a savoury oats, eggs, avocado. It's really tasty. It looks like shit, but it's really, really tasty. We've got protein smoothie. That's got vitamin C, magnesium. It's got a thing called Energy X by Metagenics and stuff like that. Helps with energy, protein, all of that sort of stuff. Half and half almond milk. Organic almond milk, unsweetened, and water, filtered water. Got the old peppermint tea. Don't have juice at the moment because my juice is broken, so I've got to go out and get another one. But with the COVID and all that sort of stuff, I'm hiding a little bit, so I haven't got the juicer. But I was sitting here thinking, what's it take to change your lifestyle? And I am someone who's, since I was about 20, been around and worked with different foods, different food lifestyles and stuff like that for my health, because growing up, I was one of those kids that was always constipated, and things just didn't work well in my gut. And back then, I mean, we're talking 40 to 45 years ago, and it was just how people are, you don't think much about it. When I was in my around 20, came across naturopathy, diet, celiacs, all of those sorts of things. And because I've been having a lot of gut problems, had colonoscopies and stuff like that, and I came across this complementary food thing. So I've been working with it for 28 and a half years now. And so I forget that the way I eat is unusual to people, that a lot of people don't eat the way I eat. And I've been making these videos around the breast cancer and stuff like that. And so I thought, well, what's it take to actually change? If you choose to change your eating and diet and lifestyle, what does it take? And it takes a lot of little steps. Over the years, I'm still refining, because as I get older, my body's needs change. As I go through perimenopause, getting close to menopause, those sorts of things, my body is changing, and so its needs change. So it's a constantly evolving process with your food and your lifestyle and your exercise. And I think a lot of people get overwhelmed. I've had people on my posts, when I've posted food and stuff like that, just go, it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, costs a lot of money. I'm not going to kid you, it does take a lot of time. It does potentially cost more money depending on what you're buying. If you're living on pasta and mince, yes, this is going to cost a lot more money. If you're going out to dinner every night, no, it's not going to cost a lot more money. It's all relative to how you live now and what changes you want to make. But it can be daunting. It is time consuming. I spend quite a bit of time each day preparing my food, making sure that I'm getting the right stuff into my body and making sure that it all balances out. So this meal, I've put photos of these sorts of meals, particularly my savoury oats. I love my savoury oats. I've put these photos up with what goes into making this meal. And it's quite a bit of stuff. So this has about 250 grams of vegetables in it. And in order to make that change, to go, all right, I'm going to eat a couple of cups of vegetables in my brekkie, that's a big difference to I'm going to have toast or cereal. And so it comes down to how you want to make that change. And for me, when I think about it over the years, it was slow, and I didn't get into eating vegetables for my brekkie until I went to Asia about 8 years ago. And they do vegetables for brekkie. And I loved it. They do soups for brekkie, which I loved. And so I sort of came back a little bit inspired to go, right, I need more veggies, get more veggies in. But even just getting your 5 serves of veggies a day, for some people, apparently, according to stats and stuff like that, most people aren't getting their serves of 5 vegetables a day. So if you start with just going, all right, how do I get up to 5 serves of vegetables a day? It can be little things, and you can find this on any sort of health and well-being site. Spinach is a fabulous one. It melts down to practically nothing. There is a huge handful of spinach in this dish, like a huge handful of spinach in this dish, and it just kind of melts away. That's a great way to get a big hit of greens into you. Things like if you do happen to juice, cut the fruit out, because having too much fructose is actually really bad for our body. Some people can tolerate a little bit. I actually don't tolerate it well at all. It's something that's my body really doesn't like. So all my juices, if you see me do a juice, 90% of the time they're going to have absolutely no fruit in them. They're pure veggie juice. Another way to do it is if you can say mince, chicken, those sorts of things, and it's something with a sauce, is load your mince with vegetables. When I cook mince for Robin and I used to do this with the kids all the time to get vegetables into them, there would be around 100, 110 grams of meat per person, and the rest of the sauce was vegetables. So there was actually far more vegetables in it than there was meat. But the meat is strong enough in flavour that you can hide the veggies, particularly if you cut it really small. Anyone with young kids, you know that one. But I think sometimes it's stuff that we need to reiterate, we need to revisit, to go, if you want to make these changes, it really is those baby steps. We have all heard them before. I'm not telling you anything new. It's just those little baby steps. How do I get a little bit more into this sort of stuff? I've made the change recently to organic. And I made that change once I got to Melbourne because, to be honest with you, to go organic is cheaper in a city than it is in the country unless you're growing your own. Simply shipping, all of that sort of stuff. And even if the veggies are grown locally, I found them at times to be, for me personally, cost prohibitive. So it's about doing what you can. If you can't go organic, then there's a thing. Have a look for it online. It's called the Dirty 13, and it's the 13 top veggies that are most filled with chemicals that you're best to avoid. If you can just do those vegetables. And the number one, last time I checked this, was zucchini. I ate a ton of zucchini. So if you can't afford organic, just little things like, check the Dirty 13 and just get those veggies, maybe organic, that you might eat a lot of, like zucchini. Get those ones organic, and it'll just start to drop your toxic load in your body. So, changing to the sort of lifestyle that a lot of health professionals recommend, and then even taking it up even higher with all your supplements and all that sort of stuff. No, it's not necessarily easy, particularly if you try and do it all at once. That's just daunting. I would never do that. I've snuck up on it for, nearly 30 years, like I said. But it's just making those small changes, and it's something that we really need to do. And this COVID has really brought that into focus for me, in terms of, I'm not just doing this because of cancer. I'm not just doing this because I had bowel issues, when I was in my 20s. I'm not just doing it for that, but it's about maintenance and maintaining your immune system, because your immune system is what helps with all of this. And it's about keeping that immune system up. So when things happen like this, the nuts time we're in right now, when things happen like that, it's a matter of your system is just that little bit better off. It's a little bit more able to cope with what may or may not happen. Even year to year, the flu virus, you get a vaccine, it doesn't just, it wears out. So you've got to get another one the next year. A vaccine is about boosting the immune system. Your food does that too. And so if you're doing the right food all the time, when something like this comes along, or, the cold comes home from the kiddies' daycare, your child comes home from uni for the weekend and brings some sort of tummy bug or something like that, your system's going to cope better. So it's just a little share on, making those changes, starting to bring this sort of food into your lifestyle, and just making the decision to do it slowly. I think with the way the world is right now, we're all learning that we could do a little bit more for our immune system. We're all learning that we can do a little bit more to protect ourselves by what we put in our body. And so I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. So I hope you're having a great day. Get a few veggies in, get your water in, and we'll talk to you soon.